Woe to you, O earth and sea.
It's the Hop Nation
USA Podcast. It's episode 223 of the Hop Nation USA Podcast, and we're here live on location at Union Brothers Brewing, all the way up in Zelienople.
Or down in Zelienople. Although, is this Zeli or is this technically Harmony where we're in right now?
This is Harmony over here, but Zilly's like a stone throw away, right up the street.
If I can hit that lion water fountain with a rock, then we're close enough.
I agree. I'm willing to round one way or another as we see fit.
Yes. It's also funnier to say Zelienople. Nobody cares.
That is very true.
Harmony is fine. It's a nice town name, but
Yeah.
Zelienople.
Yeah. Harmony you can find in Indiana, Kentucky,
Right.
Utah, anywhere.
Yeah.
Zelienople,
Right.
one and only.
Yeah.
One and only.
PA. But as you already heard, my co-host Adam is here with me.
Absolutely. Happy to be here, Steve.
Great. I'm Steve, and as you also heard, we're joined by a guest from Union Brothers Brewing, a representative of the union.
Stuart, if you will.
Yes. We have owner and brewer Zach with us.
Thanks for coming out.
Thanks for
Cool
having
to be
us.
on here.
Yeah.
Finally. I know we tried for a long time. Finally here.
We finally beat you down enough to convince you to come on the show.
Yep. Didn't take too much, but. So, how you guys doing tonight?
Very good. Very good. How are you?
Good, good. Yeah, we've been busy. Like I said, I know we've been working on a new building and doing that stuff. So,
Yeah.
trying to do that, this, everything in between.
That sounds like the kind of thing that needs to be talked about over a beer.
Yeah.
I think so.
And I think now would be the perfect time to get into that beer. So,
All right.
so Zach, since these are your beers, we'll let you introduce the first beer for the episode. What are we drinking this time around?
We're going to do a German Marzen beer. So we've done this once before last year around this time, and it went over so well. So we redid it again this year, and I think this year's is better than last year. So, yeah, we'll crack into this and see what you guys think.
Right on.
Can you give us some numbers on that, like ABV?
It's at 6% ABV. So it's nice. We came in, that's where we kind of wanted to come in around 6 again this year. And I think it's a nice balance for the ABV with the malt and the roastiness in it. So it's a really balanced beer.
Right on.
So let's get this poured up.
Yeah.
The anticipation is palpable. I haven't had a beer all day.
Yeah, so to look at this beer, it's very clear.
It is. And it did when it poured out, it had a nice little bit of head on it. Still sticking around too, as well. I've seen some others that the head dissipates relatively quickly. Got a good color to it. On the nose, yeah, it's malty. It's Marzen, of course. What do you expect?
Yeah, so this is one of my favorite beers that we've ever done, but definitely right now it's my favorite beer we have going.
Right on, right on.
Nice, crushable beer.
So is this one available on tap and in cans?
Yeah, right now we do currently have it on draft and in cans available as well.
Awesome.
And we had a select few cases go out for distribution.
Okay. The nice thing right now is Steve is taking pictures, so I can just sit here and drink this and talk beer, and he can't do anything about it. It's fantastic.
Well, hey, this is kind of one of your style of beers. You like your little lagers.
First of all, don't call it little lagers. Don't disparage it that way.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, crispy boys. I didn't know I had to. I didn't know I was off on my parlance. I'm so sorry.
That's right. That's right.
Just send.
Know your place, Steve, and know lagers' place.
Gotcha.
They are on the Mount Rushmores of beers.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'll say though, it is incredibly refreshing. It's not overly sweet, but it has like a full mouthfeel to it.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so we take that mash a little bit higher on this one, trying to give you that more of like a full body feel to it, but still in a crushable form. So I think it turned out like excellent. I love this beer. So so
Here's a good word for it: hearty.
Hardy.
It is,
Yeah,
yes.
It's a hearty beer.
Yeah.
It's a good steak dinner beer.
Yeah. Also another one that would be good around the campfire, which
Yep.
for this time of year is absolutely perfect.
Perfect.
Yes.
Yeah. Right on.
So we get to sit here and drink beer and ask questions. Zach, you get the happy position of answering the questions.
Awesome.
So beforehand, you had talked a little bit about there was some expansion going on at Union Brothers. We finally have a beer in hand. You want to get into that a little bit? What's happening? What's going on? What's the scoop?
So we've been kind of looking, trying to find a new location for our production for probably about 6 to 8 months now. And it's just we're out of space. We share with the kitchen here. I mean, if you see our brewery, it's tiny. It's like a 1-lane brewery with the kitchen at the very end of it. So we've been kind of trying to find a building, and we wanted to be close. I don't want to be jockeying kegs between locations, 30 minutes apart. So we actually have a building that we got probably about a month and a half ago, and it's a minute and a half up the street from here. So it's going to be nice. It's 2,700 square foot. So this whole restaurant, brewery, tap room is 1,800 square foot. So our production space is going to be pretty monstrous. We have a 3.5 barrel system now. We got a 10 barrel alpha brew house, 6 10 barrel alpha fermenters, 20 barrel fermenter, and a new alpha canning line. So we're looking to kind of be able to feed this place more, but also feed the surrounding area with some more beer, because like last winter during all the shutdowns, we had beer everywhere. And now this year we couldn't do it just because in-house demand. So it's something that we're kind of excited for, to be able to, give back to the area that, helped us get through some tough times when we first opened. So it's going to be pretty exciting over there.
Yeah. That's something we talked a little bit with Full Pint, being now that they're back in production, they're looking to get themselves back on taps the same way they were way back in the past. So now I think that's kind of cool that you guys are looking to expand the same way in this area. That north of the city, you're going to find Union Brothers on all the taps.
Yes, as well you should.
Yeah, well, hey.
Yeah, so it's kind of a thing, too. Like, we even got some people in, like, South Hills area that always ask us for some beer. And it's like, we can't even slide them, a case, 6 full, nothing. So it's like, we're kind of excited. This is pretty big for us. It's something that I think that we always wanted to do, but with the size of our current building, it was just something that was not possible before.
So with the move to a bigger production facility, have you had any talks with any other brewers that have gone through that as well, in terms of how that may affect recipe construction and scaling and things like that, how that might affect your recipes going forward?
Yeah, we've definitely talked. We got a good relationship with a lot of local breweries around here that we're able to bounce ideas, throw ideas off of. So it's kind of it's going to be a learning curve for us just because it's the size difference. But right now we're doing 7 barrels. We're double batching, doing 7 barrels. So it's kind of not that much more for us. But yeah, there's always going to be, in this industry, there's always learning curves. I look at it as, in this industry, the day you stop learning, then what are you doing in the industry?
Exactly.
I try to learn something new every day. So I think it'll be a challenge, but I think, we should get there.
Well, if you have any duds, let me know. I can help you take care of those.
Adam drinks duds. So you kind of rattle off a huge equipment list of things that are incoming into this new expansion. Was this something that you had been planning through 2020, that equipment is on back order, like we're constantly waiting for stuff? Or is this something that you were able to source rather quickly and find just somebody selling off equipment?
Yeah, so when we began searching for the building, I started reaching out to equipment manufacturers, just seeing what was out there, seeing the lead times with everything going on in the supply chain. So we have SS Brewtech right now. We called them. They said 9 to 12 months for new equipment. We called Alpha. I've talked with Alpha in the past. We didn't end up going with them because of the space here. So we had to go. SS Brewtech had this 3.5 barrel compact system. So that's what we needed to fit our needs. So when I talked to Alpha, we actually got lucky because the Craft Brewers Conference was coming up. And they had a 10-barrel brew house coming in that they were hoping to sell at the Craft Brewers Conference. And we were kind of right place, right time. So our brew house, they actually just sent me pictures of it yesterday. They have it in Nebraska. It's all done. They're doing the final testing on it. So we got lucky. I think we bought it the second week of September, and here we are a month later, and
wow.
it's close to being here.
Yeah, that is unheard of right now.
Yeah, no, so it was kind of like even everything with the building, the equipment, funding, everything that we wanted to do kind of fell in place for us. And it's like, I tell some people, buddies in the industry, and they can't believe like the turnaround on everything. Like I said, we signed the lease for this building September 1st, and we're hoping to be brewing our first beer up there by Thanksgiving of this year. So
Wow.
it's pretty crazy quick turnaround. So hopefully, we just went through our licensing inspection with the LCB. So our licensing's moving forward. So everything's falling into place over there. So
That's fantastic.
Nice.
So you did just talk about the licensing. What sort of changes are expected with moving buildings? Is it a whole new license change, or is it just sort of an expansion of your current one?
So-
how does that work?
It's kind of a pain because right in this building here we have production right now, so we're taking production out of this place, so we have to transfer the license from this place to the new building. This building goes under a new license, so it's kind of it's kind of a pain. So that's why we hired a lawyer to do it for us, because there's a lot of moving parts. But it's everything's going. Like I said, we had our inspection already. Hopefully, we hear back from them within the next few weeks, and we'll be good to go.
Right on.
Awesome.
So, just for the audience who doesn't know, you guys actually opened in 2020. So you're talking about these lightning speed turnarounds of expansion and finding things like that. Yeah, it's even more so because I think a lot of us were taken by surprise just by the news that you were expanding so quickly from opening in the first place.
So when we got this building, like I said, a 10-barrel brew house was always in the back of my mind, is what we wanted to do. And when we got this building kind of fell in our lap too. We weren't really expecting this building per se. And then we looked at the schematics of the building, and it just wasn't doable to have the 10-barrel brew house. And right now, with demand in-house, we are literally emptying a fermenter, filling it the same day just to try to keep up with demand for in-house on draft. So it was something that this was like our plan, our master plan that we wanted to do, was be able to expand. We kind of opened on a less budget when we first started, just because size constraints. So it's kind of, we focused over the last year just seeing where we're at, where we stand after a year and a half of being open. And where we stand right now is the kitchen is kind of the kitchen side of the business. The restaurant is kind of handicapped, and the beer side, just because we are literally day in, day out fighting for space here. So when we got this new building, it's like I said, it's 2,700 square feet. Our current space is 348 square feet of brewing space. So, it kind of made sense to us with the equipment being available that we should just get the new equipment, move it into the bigger space. And then we already sold off all of our old equipment. We still have it. So as soon as we're moved, then this stuff will be gone. And
Right on.
so, yeah, it was just kind of a plan that we always thought of. Just how we got there, we were unsure.
Right on. So with the old equipment, is that staying local to the area, or is that going out to a whole new outfit? Where's that headed?
Yeah, we sold it to a couple that's on a startup in Rhode Island. So they drove down here one day. They have a little camper in the back of their truck. I come into on brew day, and they're sleeping in the parking lot in this camper. But they were super cool people. So yeah, they're excited to have it.
That's awesome.
We're excited for them.
Yeah, that's cool. It's always fun to see how things move around.
Yeah.
But can you take us a little bit back further to kind of the origin story of Union Brothers? How did you guys arrive at being a brewery in the first place?
So I was constantly going to, back in the day, it was Great Lakes. I was traveling from here, Zilly to Cleveland, all the time they had bottle releases. That was the big thing. There was no cans back then, So I was driving out there, and it's 2 hours, one way, 4-hour round trip. And one day I was just like, well, maybe I could do this, So I started making beer, and it became a rabbit hole of a hobby that just started in my kitchen on the stove, and then went over to my garage, then took over the basement, then took over the garage again. So it was like a crazy story. And then we did beer events for 3 years, under the Union Brothers name. I felt that's what I needed to do with a saturated market, to see if there was a market for myself. In our last year, we did 38 events in 52 weeks of the year, and it was me and my wife sat down, and I said, we either got to do it or we got to just slow down. We're spending so much money to get free beer away.
Right.
That's kind of like our story. I mean, like I said, I felt like the Beer Fest doing those was like a big thing to get our name out there, get our brand out there, see if people were interested. I mean, because everybody says, like, when you start brewing, like, yeah, of course your family's going to tell you it's good. Does everybody else think it's good? You know, so I wasn't sure. So we did it for 3 years, and, you know, it was a big hit for us. So.
Yeah. I vaguely remember, like, Union Brothers at the Beers of the Berg event. Yeah. Not saying vaguely as in their beer wasn't memorable at the time, but you just hard to remember anything from it.
Rocket fuel on top of rocket fuel on top of more.
Yeah, it was cool. We you know, by the third year, we had a lot of people in the industry trusting us, and trusting that what we were doing, that, you know, we were able to get into Beers on the Berg or Beers of the Berg without like being an actual brewery.
Right.
We did a lot of beer fests that were commercial breweries only, that they, you know, kind of let us slide in. And you know, it was kind of cool. And I remember talking to John from Cellar Works, and we were doing a beer fest together, and he's beside me and I'm talking, and he was like, man, just wait till you're not pretending to be a brewery and you're an actual brewery, you know, because he did the same thing. They went through the same process of giving beer away for how long, you know. And, you know, he was right, because when we opened, it was a totally different feeling, and it was a feeling of, you know, seeing people happy. It's totally enjoying your product, you know. It's a totally different feeling than a beer fest where everybody has about 82 beers in them by the time they try, you know. So, yeah, no, it was definitely cool, but...
Yeah, man, Cellar Works, I think I even remember them from like a Brewing Up a Cure way back in the day. So, yeah, but one of the things that made Union Brothers stand out so much at these brew events is you very early on were an adopter of like the sour style that's become very popular nowadays. Like, what attracted you to it?
So it was like I think I was brewing for probably about 3 years at the time, and that was one, like, I think it was in Anderson Valley, was like doing sours, and you know, I never had it, but I would try sours, and I was like, these aren't for me, these are bad, like, I don't like this, like, you know. And then I had an Anderson Valley, it was the briny melon, it was a watermelon sour.
I know that one well.
It was in the summertime, and I was like, wow, this is like a crusher around the pool, you know what I mean? So I kind of was like, yeah, you know what, maybe sours aren't so bad, and I started messing around with them, and here we are. It's you know, it's 4 or 5 years later, and we're still brewing them. And
I know. Just very early on, we featured one of your beers from the Sauce series. And like, I'm not much into sours, you know, probably much like you, but you know, the way you make your sours, they're a little more on the desserty side, but also very fruit forward. So it's not like clench your jaw.
Yeah, so I think, you know, I like to make the sours very approachable. As far as, you know, there's going to be tartness there, but there's also going to be the sweetness that I think's a balance between the two. We get people all the time that are like, I hate sours, you know, and then they come in here and we're like, well, try it, just give it a try. I don't care if you spit it out. I don't care if you make a crazy face in front of me. Do whatever, you know. And we've turned on so many people to the style that are like, I would never, you know, expect to like something like this. Yeah. And you know, it takes me back to my first time. I thought the same thing. I'm not gonna like this. That's terrible. I've had terrible, you know, ones in the past, and then that briny melon one just had me hooked. I think they're good especially on a hot day.
Yeah, Anderson Valley has some good sours and gozas that they put out pretty early that were like, hey, I can get into these.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. So do you have any hopes for 2022 that we don't know about? Is it just expand, can, and brew fests? Or
yeah, as we look forward to 2022, like I said, I hope you know, we can start seeing some kind of more normal, back to normal, right? With beer fest, everything like that. You know, we've done some beer fest this year, but it's just not a lot. Mainly, you know, staffing, running around like everybody else. So 2022, I don't think, you know, nothing crazy. We hope, you know, to have the new place up and running, obviously, next month. So some distribution, expanding our restaurant that next year as well. I'm doing some more stuff here that we couldn't do with the brew house here. A big one is barrel aging for us. That's a big one that we want to get into with our new space. Something we don't have the space here to mess around with or even think about. So,
do you know which beer or which barrel you're going to do as your first one for your barrel age program?
It'll probably be in like our puff series. So our puffs is our milk stout that we always have on. So we want to do that, take that into like some Buffalo Trace bourbon barrels, do different adjuncts and stuff.
Coming out of the gate hot.
Yeah, so that's kind of where we want to go right now is with the stouts. But I think, just with our, like what we're doing, like I think our future too is doing some wild fermentation sours and stuff in barrels as well that we can't do, So I think there's a wide variety of stuff we want to do in barrels over there. So, and we have the space now.
So now that you have the space, do you have any plans? Do you have any sort of like pilot system or anything like that to do some testing and tuning?
Yeah, so we've been actually on the prowl for a pilot system now. So we want to get a 1-barrel system over there that we can do all kinds of crazy stuff that we want to do. Because it's a little different now. Like we're on 3.5, but to go to 10-barrel and just throw some crazy stuff at a beer and hope it works is not the best.
That is a roll of the
option.
dice.
So. That's kind of where we want to get a little 1-barrel, a couple fermenters over there, and we could still do some crazy stuff, but also, just piloting everyday batches that we hope to put through to make it to our tap list and distribution around, the area.
Right on.
So I guess that kind of leads me into the next question I have is you've been going for 18 months or so, plus or minus. So on some of your base recipes, how have things changed in terms of how have the recipes evolved? Are you seeing a direction from the customers on your base recipes? Do they want to see more hops, more maltiness, anything like that?
I think we get some feedback from customers that we take. I listen to everybody. I'm not better than nobody, so we take that. And as a brewer in general, it's like a chef. We're always tweaking something. Minor. Trying to get to a different flavor that we're looking for that we had in mind. So like I think Union Break is our it's our house IPA, Citra Mosaic Hazy. We constantly are tweaking that recipe, looking to bring you the most hop forward but balanced still and juicy as the New Englands are. And I think from batch 1 to where we are now, it's a totally different beer. In a good way,
right?
But the normal person probably doesn't know like a major difference, right? But it's something that we know that we're like, yes, we nailed this, So yeah, we definitely mess with some recipes, like original ones that we have, the base recipes, and tweak them. We're constantly looking to evolve and turn out the best beer we can over here,
Right on.
Awesome. That sounds great. So let's come back to the Marzen. My glass is empty.
Me too.
So good one.
Yeah, we failed successfully.
If we have a little bit left, I can do a little bit more. But
awesome.
Yeah, as I was saying, super hearty beer. We've been obviously it's Oktoberfest season, so we've been having a number of these.
Yes.
This one is also different from the past ones that we've had. Like the one we had at Full Pint was very roasty forward. This one isn't so. It has roast on it, but it's not like a burnt caramel.
Right.
And this one also has a lot more fuller mouthfeel.
A lot more rounder,
Yeah.
I would say as well, which I know is a very obtuse way of saying it.
Right.
But if you drink it, it makes sense.
Once you have it, you'll get it.
Yeah. So come get it.
Right.
Yeah, there you go. But
Set the hook just a little bit.
But yeah, otherwise, it's a really easy drinking, crushable beer.
Yes.
That definitely would go well with like any kind of meat food.
And I think it would go pretty good with maybe a little pumpkin pie.
Good too. Yeah.
I don't know. We might have to find that out.
Oh.
We're gonna take a little break, and maybe we'll see how that pairs up with some pumpkin pie
Okay.
right after this.
This episode of the Hop Nation USA podcast is brought to you by Stello Mints. It should come as no surprise to you that 1/3 of Americans are living with some sort of extreme stress. There's stress in their life, stress from work, just everything coming at you at once. But that's exactly what Stello Mints are for. They're CBD-powered mints, and they will help you feel more calm and clear-headed throughout the day. Each tin contains 30 total mints, and they come in 3 delicious flavors: peppermint, lemon, and matcha. I'm on the matcha. I love green tea. That's my jam. So for a limited time, you can get a completely free sample of Stello Mints, shipping included. Simply go to stellomints.com and use the code HOPUSA, and your order will be converted to a free sample. That's STELLO mints.com and use coupon code HOPUSA for a free sample. It's episode 223, and we're still here at Union Brothers Brewing in the heart of Harmony. I'll say it right this time.
That's right.
But we are still joined by Zach, the head brewer here at Union Brothers Brewing. And we have another beer by Union Brothers Brewing, which he'll introduce now.
So this is our short stack series. So we have sauce, short stack, and short stack now. So just two different base recipes for the sours that we do. So this one we did pumpkin pie, and it was kind of one that I didn't want to do, but I was talked into it by everybody that works here to do a pumpkin beer. So we did it, and I hate to say it, it's really good. So it's a nice, refreshing pumpkin pie beer. You get the pumpkin, you get the cinnamon, vanilla, the pie crust, and it's not too thick. I had a couple in the past that were real thick, like pumpkin, It's like almost like you cut open a pumpkin and what's inside the pumpkin with all the seeds is the thickness of it. So I knew I didn't want to do anything like that, but I think it turned out really well, and it's been a huge hit for us over here. I think we did 25 cases of it and sold out in 2 days. So
oh my!
It was fast.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
So I'll admit, when I heard about this beer, I was expecting it to come out looking like one of the more Talus beers. We had. I don't know that we even had it on the show, but we had one of their Hydras, which was like a pumpkin, blueberry, some other fucking thing mix with the kitchen sink, and it just came out all gloopy and shit. This looks completely different from that. It is not clear, but it is not gloopy. It looks like beer. That's
it
a
does.
plus.
and honestly, it has a little bit of a hazy IPA look to it. Kind of,
even a hazy saison. It's so light.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would even, if somebody told me this was a Berliner Weiss walking in,
Yeah.
I'd believe them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not huge into them big loopy sours. We've done some here, that we have in the past, but I try to stay away from that. I think back to the Marzen Hardy. I think them sours are Hardy. I can only have a quarter of a pour and that's it. I feel like I'm eating a meal. You almost need a spoon half the time. So we try to stay away from that over here. But I think it turned out good.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I can say right up on the nose, you smell a lot of that pie crust. Then tasting it again, it's not overly sour, which is good for me.
But it still has that tartness to it, which is good for me.
Yeah, there's a little tartness to it, and almost because of the cinnamon in there, there's almost like an apple pie taste to it as well. So it kind of for me, it's blending the. It's like having a slice of pumpkin and a slice of apple.
Yeah.
Which I'm down for. I'm good with that.
Agreed.
Yeah. So that was kind of, our thing is let's keep it approachable and drinkable. Because when we got the pumpkin, we did pumpkin puree for it, and it was so thick. I was like, man. So we gave it a couple extra days in a cold crashing process to drop some of that thickness out because I just didn't want it. You open a can and it's foaming out the side. It's just glue, glopping down the side.
Yeah.
It's whoa, this is a mess. I need a napkin. So we try to keep it on the thinner side, but still hit all them flavors that we're looking for.
Yeah, I say you did, and it's this is a good one.
It is.
It also how it differentiates itself from every other pumpkin beer that's out there right now.
Yes, because those all kind of tend to blend together.
Yeah.
They're all kind of the same song.
Yeah.
But this is nice because it is different.
Yeah. Well, we had just last week with Decaying with the Boys, we had the whole hog pumpkin ale, which admittedly it's a really good pumpkin beer,
but
it's still malty and it's still kind of the staples of everything else. Whereas this is a lot lighter, it's a lot fresher.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting take on a pumpkin beer.
yes.
So yeah.
Awesome.
So I hate to tell you this, but you were wrong. This is the right beer to go for pumpkin beers.
Awesome. Yeah.
Everybody else knew it too.
Yeah. Yeah. They begged me for probably 3 weeks, to do it, and I finally did it. So
If you're going to be wrong, that's the way to do it.
Yep.
Oh, let's move on. Let's learn a little bit more about Zach on a personal level, and let's just start with your background. Obviously, Union Brothers Brewing. It is a reference to your previous job. And we like talking previous jobs because a lot of the times we find there's a lot of engineers and there's a lot of creatives and chefs and that kind of nature. But I think you're our first electrician, maybe.
Yeah, so I worked for the power company. I was a lineman for Duquesne Light for 10 years. So it was kind of cool because that job helped me fund my hobby of homebrewing. You know, and my wife didn't kill me, so
Which is always a plus.
yeah. So you know, it was cool. It was fun, and then you know this hobby became turned into something more, and I think I did 10 months we were open. I did both, and it was crazy because with the power company and with like COVID, they forced us on 6/12s.
Oh my God.
So I was working Monday through Saturday, and I was on the night shift. So it was 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. every day, and it was
Oh my God.
I would yeah, it was pretty crazy, and I would go home for like a second, come here, make beer, do whatever I needed to do. Open like on Fridays, I would open this place up in the morning for lunch, and then I'd go back to work. So it was like 1 to 2 hours of sleep a day.
That is,
Yeah,
I applaud your commitment.
Yeah.
100%.
and with us like opening this place in COVID, I wasn't sure, what the future for anybody. So it was like I tried to hold on to that, doing the electric for as long as I could. One day I woke up and looked at my wife and said, "I'm done." She was like, "Done with what?" And I was like, "I gotta leave the power company." And we had a 5-year plan, so I hope to stay there 5 years when we opened this place. About 2 weeks after we opened, it turned into a year. And then I made it 10 months. So she fully supported me leaving the power company, which was scary as shit.
Right.
I was making good money,
Yeah.
I was doing I had a nice income, and then one day just leave to have, my future in my own hands, So it took a while to go transition from, being an electrician working for somebody to, working for myself. But, now, that I'm in a groove, it's, way better, and I wouldn't, have it any other way.
Plus, you can actually sleep more than 2 hours a night.
Yeah, and I got I work more now than I did at the power company, but it's like different. Like I can make my own schedule. I can be flexible. I got a 3 and a 5-year-old at home, so I can get them on the bus, pick them up from school. Whereas before I was like pretty much non-existing, and it's not fair to them either, right? So yeah, now it's cool. I sometimes I miss electric, but most days not. I'd rather make beer. But yeah, so it's been like a crazy ride, but like I said, that with my electrical background, that helped me with so many stuff. Like opening this place, I wired this whole place up to how we wanted it. I was able to do that at our new place. I'm doing all kinds of electrical work there. So yeah, I mean, it's a cool background to have, and it's needed all the time.
Oh
so,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, we hear like a lot of stories of like different just failures at different levels, and not every brewer goes in with the technical know-how to fix themselves. That kind of makes me wonder, have you been contacted by like Shoe Brew or Burgers if they've ever gotten in trouble?
Yes.
Zach, help.
Yeah, so over at Shoe Brew, we're good. Me and Zach are good friends. And they got a new beer system, probably about 4 months ago, and he was kind of in a pinch getting like his panel wired for this new system. So we were able to go down there and help him out, get him going. So yeah, it's helped out, with everybody, and it's good. Yeah, it's good to have, right?
Yeah. That's cool. That's cool to hear, and it's just something we hear all the time. The stories from other breweries about how they help with like ingredients, or just if they have a part that they can outsource. But it's cool that there's somebody who with a technical know-how that they can just jump in and help that way as well.
And it's cool too, because like even Neil at Burgers, he's like engineer. He was an engineer background too, so he knows all like the electronic components. Where I know like how to wire a building. I don't know anything about these little devices and relays and all that stuff. So it's kind of cool.
That's input, magic, output.
That's basically what it is, And I don't know anything. Yeah, give it the juice.
Don't let the magic smoke out. Can't get it back in.
That's cool, though. I wanted to dip even farther back, though, and we talked a little bit about your home brewing experience, but just to go even farther back to that, like, you mentioned doing brew fests early on, as not necessarily as a brick-and-mortar brewery. Did you do any of the more traditional, like, competitions, like BJCP or anything like that? Did you have any, like, wins in there? Anything that you're super proud of?
We've done a couple BJCP like judged events, you know, in the past, but most of them were like your normal homebrew fest, you know, that are, you know, they'd have a panel of judges that weren't really scored as far as like a BJCP. But yeah, like our first beer fest ever was North Hills, the North Hills Beer Fest.
Right on.
Okay.
You know, we went there and not really, we weren't in no clubs or nothing, like, cause like I had a full-time job and trying to like start a family. I wasn't in any of these clubs, so I go to this beer fest, didn't know anybody, you know, met a lot of cool people that I'm still friends with though, you know, now. But we went there not knowing anything, like if our beer was good. Like I said, this was our first event ever, and I think we won 5 awards out there.
Oh my.
So yeah, it was cool. It was, you know, we like we're like, maybe, you know, our beer doesn't suck, right? Maybe our family isn't lying to us, and that kind of just spun it into, you know, we did so many, you know, I think we won probably about 15, 20 awards like in our home brewing days. So it was kind of like, yeah, like, you know, people are into what we're doing, and they're believing what we're doing, and you know, it kind of like sparked our interest even more. Like when we were still homebrewing, we had a 1-barrel system at our house with, you know, 31 gallons we're making at home for what, you know, I don't know. Like I can't drink 31 gallons of beer, you know what I mean? But, you know, there was just, we were that busy with these beer fests and events. And it was kind of like after the first couple times of winning, it's like, you're like, want to keep going, keep getting out there, keep seeing, you know, and it's cool. It's good feedback, you know, from like other home brewers. There's usually always like open, like commercial breweries as like panel of judges there, you know? So it was like kind of like cool to see like, hey, like, what do you guys think of my stuff? People that are actually doing this for a living, you know? So it was cool. And we've done so, like I said, we did so many 38 events in our last year before we opened up here, so it was like a wild ride for sure.
Yeah, it's always nice to have another North Hills homebrew winner on the show.
Yes, it is. We keep stacking them up.
Well, I mean, also just to share it with me, you know.
Oh, I'm the odd
So
man
there's
out.
two, you know, there's 2 of us, you know.
I see how it is. Uh-huh. All right. Next year. I'll get you next year.
Sure.
Next year.
So on the homebrew side, was there any one recipe that kind of, you know, from your personal viewpoint that said, I know what I'm doing? Like one particular recipe or one style that convinced yourself?
Yeah, like our stout that we did, our milk stout, we brewed that, and it was like kind of like a nailed recipe. We had it dialed in, we'd take it to places, and everybody would rave about it. That was kind of like our one that actually was like the spin-off to our stout now, that we have on. But I think when we opened, like, and I don't know if it was like proper equipment, just even learning, but I think like our first set of beers that we did here like blew away everything that we ever did at home.
Yeah?
Like it was crazy. I was like, we nailed this the first try, you know? Not to say we've nailed every one since, but you know, it was like, I don't know, it was just like way better. It was great. Maybe it's just because it was like, hey, we're about to sell this stuff finally, make some money. I don't know, but yeah, so we kind of kept our milk stout recipe and kept that with us, and we still tweak it now every so often and mess with it. But yeah, that was like a one recipe that you know we couldn't stop making when we were home brewing. You know?
People will start threatening you if you don't make that.
Yeah.
Bring it around again.
So are there any other recipes from your homebrew days that made it over to the commercial side?
Like our base like sauce, that kind of stayed the same, but it's, you know, a pretty simple grain bill, so there wasn't much to change. But other than that, like everything really changed, just kind of even from us evolving, learning, talking to other breweries. And I talk to Adam from 4 Points all the time. Like that's like, he's my mentor in this game, you know what I mean? I talk to him all the time, daily, and it's just like show him some recipes that I had home brewing when we were going, and he would be like, hey, maybe tweak it a little bit here, do this. So now it's like cool now that I'm actually doing it. Me and him like bounce ideas off each other.
That's awesome.
It's cool.
Yeah, he's definitely somebody that's willing to offer up like his knowledge as best he can. Like he has
knowledge of any sort,
yeah,
right?
Right. Yeah. If you follow him on Twitter, yeah. But awesome. Do you just have any advice for anybody getting into the homebrew game?
Yeah, I mean, it's ask questions, read as much as you did. I was kind of like a self-taught like brewer. I mean, I asked questions like once I started meeting people and stuff, but I was like a constant like study book. I'd be on the internet reading, which is like, don't believe everything you see on the internet. We all know that, right?
Oh, yeah.
But it's like, there's a lot of valuable information on there, and it's, get out and do the events. Do the events and see what people think, because like I said, everybody tells you your friends and family are going to tell you your beer is good, right? And until you actually get out there and get feedback, and the feedback helps you. You know what I mean? We've done even just a couple that BJCP judged events we did. There was good feedback on there about that beer. That we took, learned, and get better. Like I said, keep learning. Never stop learning. I mean, I learn something new every day, and if I don't, then it's not a good day, right? There's so much to know in this industry. So that's why, like I said, just if you got the heart to do it, just keep doing it, and ask questions, ask as many questions as you can.
Right on.
So in that vein, with the mindset of constantly learning, are there any styles that you have not made yet that you're looking forward to kind of dive into?
Yeah, on a commercial level, we haven't done any brown ales, and that's something that we've done in the past on the homebrew, but not commercially, and that's something that we've been working on a recipe, and that's something I would expect to see us do here very soon. Yes. And even more lagers. I mean, there's more to a lager than just Miller Lite, right? Pilsner, right? So we want to dive into that, and you just got to do it, and ask questions, read. We ask questions every day to other breweries around here. Just because we're a brewery doesn't mean we don't ask questions anymore, right?
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, there's a wide portfolio of beers that we still want to do, and I could see us doing in the future. Now, and especially with the expansion, having more space, able to do that, we're excited for that.
Awesome. Let's go to just how daily operations are. This is a question I wanted to start incorporating more into the podcast. Just because I think we've asked it previously when we went to Spoonwood, but that was, maybe 2 years ago at this point. We talked about what they play in their brewery. What do they listen to as they make their beer? So what does your brewery sound like? What's the back sound like? What are you listening to on a brew day?
We listen to, it's crazy, man. It's goes from bluegrass to Nos to Kanye West, back to Chris Stapleton. It's crazy. We listen to everything back there. It just depends, what we're doing, what mood we're in. Everybody, there's three of us here on a daily basis, so it's what are you in the mood for today? So, but it's usually we'll listen to something for about an hour, a genre for an hour, and then it's something like the total opposite genre. So we listen to all kinds of stuff back there. But it's fun. It makes for a fun day, right?
Yeah.
You know what? That gives me a good idea.
What's that?
We need to start a Spotify playlist.
Oh, okay.
Every brewer that we go to, every brewer needs to give us 3 songs that they play in their brew house.
Oh, all right.
And then every time we go to a new brewery, we add 3 new songs.
There you go. You got the brewer mixtape back there.
I like that.
The Pittsburgh Brewery mixtape.
I like that.
Coming soon.
Yeah, we'll yeah, I like that too.
Yeah.
We'll start working on that.
So after the show, we're going to get 3 songs out of you.
Yeah, don't put me on the spot. I don't
No. We'll give you time to think about it.
Don't worry, Abjuration, if you're listening, I'm already putting Mastodon down. So you're good.
I said you would just put that down for yourself.
That too. What? We all like Mastodon. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know anybody that doesn't. Communists, that's who. Actually, they probably do too.
No, it's cool, communists. You talked a little bit about how you kind of got all of this started through going to Great Lakes. What are some of your other favorite breweries that are outside of the Pittsburgh area that either influence you or you just like drinking?
So even I tell this story all the time, which is crazy. Is my wife's grandma has a house down in Clearwater, Florida, and I remember going down there and we went to Cigar City. And Cigar City was this little tiny brewery, little hole in the wall, and the beer was excellent. I love Cigar City even to this day. And then I went down 3-4 years later, and this place is massive, new brewery. And now, I mean, look at them now. I mean, their distribution's all the way up here already.
Right.
So Cigar City's a big one for me. I love Cigar City. I love the Jai IPA. I think it's one of the best. Even Bell's for a big brewery. Bell's Two Hearted. I'll take that any day. But the thing is, like, I even told my brother-in-law who like bartends here, it's like there's so much good local craft beer, like around, and he was drinking, something that was from somewhere else out of the state, and it was coming here, and he was like, this is good. And I'm like, yeah, it's okay. Like, why don't you try something local here, and this is kind of before, and he tried it and he was like, well, it's fresh, so there's a lot of good breweries around this area. But then, like I said, like there's everywhere we go. We just went to up in the Finger Lakes in New York, and we went to other half was,
Okay.
I mean, that's phenomenal beer. We went in there, me and my wife were like trying to hit all these breweries out in Finger Lakes, and we go to other half, and I think they had 19 IPAs on tap.
Oh my.
And we ended up staying there for probably a good 5 hours. So other half's good. Treehouse, I think, they're paving the way for what we all want to do. The Heady Topper, that's one of the best IPAs out there that paved the way for us. So there's a lot of good breweries that I like to try to get my hands on, but it's like now with this place I don't get to go out anymore to get that stuff. So.
It's got to be brought to you.
Yeah. So we do get care packages from time to time, which is cool, but
Yeah, I mean, that's the one nice thing I've noticed about breweries is you guys get care packages full of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it's nice. So
I've definitely seen Adam from 4 Points show off some of his things.
Yep.
He's like, I didn't even ask for this.
Just today was a good day. That's all.
Yep. And at Full Pint, they have a cooler that was full of all kinds of stuff from who knows and however they got it.
Right.
Yeah. We get all kinds of beers out here to try, so it's cool. We have customers, they'll go different state, they'll come back and give us, a case of beer. Like, all right, we'll add it to our stash, And then it just builds up.
Awesome. Well, speaking of beer, let's come back to the one that we're drinking on, the Short Stack Pumpkin Pie Sour. What's everybody's final thoughts on this one?
Well, it's very similar to my initial thoughts. Is that it's really good.
Same.
I enjoy. I especially enjoy the nose of it. That absolutely nails the pumpkin pie. The pie crust, all of that. It nails that. And being able to kind of switch it up a little bit with the tartness. Yeah, I am a fan of that. It works really well.
Yeah. Like I said, it's like having a slice of apple and a slice of pumpkin at the same time. Mm-hmm. Which, as a fatty, I'm into that.
Me too. I want some pie now.
You don't even have to be a fatty to enjoy that.
No, but it'll get you there.
So, what do you say we take a quick break?
Yeah.
And then it's time for you two to enter the Thunderdome.
Oh, good.
Oh.
Adam's on a revenge tour from last week.
That's not that bad. Or is it?
Who cares? We'll see.
That's right. We'll be right back. First Sip Brew Box is a one-of-a-kind subscription service for craft beer lovers based right here in Pittsburgh. Every month, First Sip will send you a box full of craft beer enthusiast essentials, including t-shirts, glassware, and even food. Right now, our friends at First Sip Brew Box have an offer for you. Just sign up for a 3-month subscription and get your 4th month free. Just enter the code HOPUSA when you sign up at firstsipbrewbox.com. That's HOPUSA at checkout to get your 4th month free at firstsipbrewbox.com.
It's episode 223. You've made it to segment 3, and we're still here at Union Brothers Brewing. And I'm still joined by my co-host, Adam.
Yes, and you should actually say you should be happy that I made it to segment 3 because I have the unenviable task of watching all the delicious food come out of the kitchen. You guys are fortunate. You have your backs turned to it. I have to eyeball it all coming out of that kitchen.
As I already mentioned, I'm a fatty. I can smell it.
I can smell it.
From a mile away.
That's right. Track it down like a bear. But yeah, and we're also still joined by Zach, the head brewer here at Union Brothers. We also have another beer.
We do. You want to get into it?
I do.
Let's do it.
Zach, can we have more beer?
More beer on the way.
Yes.
So why don't you tell us what we're having now?
So this is our Rockee Road beer. It's a pastry stout that we did last year around Halloween, so we decided to bring this one back too. So it's like the ice cream, the Rockee Road ice cream. It's We have chocolate, vanilla, almonds, and a dash of like marshmallow in there. And I think it's pretty close to the ice cream dish.
How does one dash marshmallow?
So we get a little bit of fluff, marshmallow fluff, and we add a little dash. Sprinkle it in like the Salt Bay.
Don't let them fool you. They zest all the marshmallows.
Oh, okay. Catch your finger on one of those planers.
You can just imagine just a marshmallow on a mandolin.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, this is it's 10%, so it's a big boy. And I think this year's version of it, I think it's even better. It's thicker. We did a little more chocolate in this one, and a little bit more vanilla to kind of like smooth the back end. So you couldn't even tell, by drinking it, in my opinion, that it's a 10% beer.
Right. And that's the first thing I noticed on the first sip is it doesn't have that 10% burn.
Right.
It got smoothed out nice and quick, but it still has now that I'm talking, there is still a little bit of that roasty residue kicking around too.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's still a nice roasty stout. For those who don't know, as far as Pittsburgh weather goes, we were enjoying 75 for a little bit till midweek last week, and then the cold front came in, and now we're into roasty, deep dark beer drinking season for the normies.
Yep.
But for all of us, all weather is stout weather.
Yes, and this falls right into that category. It's got everything going on that you want from a big fat pastry stout.
Definitely.
It's sweet, it's roasty, it's got those candy notes. Everything's there.
It's a hug in a mug.
Hug in a mug. I like that.
Yeah, so I don't know. If you don't like this, you're not American.
Also, why are you still listening to us?
Yeah,
you know
outta
our
here.
stance.
Yeah, you know our stance. You know what we're about. But yeah, excellent. I'm into it.
As am I. We might have to get into like 2 or 3 of those.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Get some take-homes.
Yeah. The game for segment 3. Segment 3, we get a little lighthearted here.
Awesome.
So we're gonna have ourselves a little bit of a quiz. This is the Union Brothers quiz.
Okay.
So, Zach, you are our guest. We have 2 categories here. Your categories are either Union or Brothers. I'll let you choose. Which category would you like to play in?
Let's do Union.
Union. Okay. So how this is going to work is I'm going to give you a question. You get 2 points if you're able to answer it without any multiple choices provided. If you decide you want to have a multiple choice provided and you answer it, you get 1 point. If you miss, the other player gets an opportunity to answer. Okay?
Sounds good.
All right. So, Zach, you have chosen Union. Steve, guess what you get? Brothers.
Oh, okay.
All right. Zach, you are our guest. You get to go first as well. I'm sorry,
boy,
Steve.
pressure's on.
You are second banana the whole way.
Whatever. I'll just clean up everything he misses.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, pressure's on, man.
All right, your first question.
IBEW.
All right, Zach, your first question. The Union Pacific Railroad is the second largest railroad in the United States. In how many states does the railroad operate in? Would you like your multiple choices?
Yeah, multiple choice. First, that's not a good start, man.
So your options are 10 states, 23 states, 36 states, or 42.
Yeah, I think I'll go 36.
You go 36, and that is incorrect.
23.
Steve is correct.
Yeah.
So Steve has stolen a point from you, Zach.
Man, pressure's on.
So Steve, it is your turn
I know
now.
the choo-choo trades.
All right, are you ready?
Yeah, sure.
The Bash Brothers, consisting of Mark McGuire and Jose Canseco, played together on what team?
Oh, shit. I actually have Mark McGuire's rookie card
Okay.
when he played on the Athletics for that 1 year. Give me my choices, though.
Your choices are the Anaheim Angels, the St. Louis Cardinals, the Chicago White Sox, and the Oakland Athletics.
I don't think he did very well as an athletic. That they would know him as a Bash brother, so it's got to be the St. Louis Cardinals.
And that is incorrect.
Damn it!
Zach, this is your opportunity to tie up the game.
Let's say the Oakland Athletics.
And that is correct.
Fucking damn it. Do you know how crazy it is that I had baseball knowledge like that?
I know. They actually played together for 7 years.
Oh.
Wow. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. All right, Zach.
He really didn't take off till he played Cardinals, and that's when he got
Yeah.
into the race with Sosa. So
Right.
all right.
Sorry, my dude.
Yeah.
It's tied after one. Zach, are you ready?
Ready to go.
All right. Your question in the Union category. During the Civil War, the Union, or Army of the North, started with 34 stars on its flag. At the end of the war, how many stars were on its flag? These are real softballs, just so you know.
I guess my knowledge.
Would you like your multiple choice?
Yeah.
Okay. Full disclosure, I didn't know this either. Your options are 20, 34, 36, or 50.
Let's go 50.
50 is incorrect.
He knows it. He's ready. Look at him. He's not even going to look at him.
I know it's definitely not 50 because Hawaii and Alaska were at it way late.
Way later to the party.
Yeah. Was 36 one of them?
Your options are 20, 34, 36, and 50.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 36.
36 is correct.
That's where I was going to go.
36 is correct. So, we are back to the Brothers. Big Brother and the Holding Company was a psychedelic rock band formed in San Francisco in 1965. Who was their lead singer?
Ew. Yeah, hippie trash is this? Big Brother and the Holding Company. You said San Francisco?
I did.
You know what? I'm gonna just take a wild shot in the dark.
Okay.
And just say Jerry Garcia.
That is incorrect.
Okay.
Okay.
Zach, would you like to steal, perhaps with options available?
Yeah, if there's options available.
So, your options are Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Brian Wilson, or Mama Cass. Big Brother and the Holding Company, 1965.
Let's go Jimi Hendrix.
That is incorrect.
It's Mama Cass?
No.
Oh, okay.
It is Janis Joplin.
Okay.
Wow, yeah.
I didn't know that either. I learned a whole bunch putting this together.
See, look, we're learning today. It's a good day, right?
All right. Zach, it's back to you for question 3. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'll just warn you, this one's a downer. Union Carbide, a petrochemical company, is credited with starting all of these brands except for the following. You're going to want options on this one.
Yeah.
So, which one was not developed by Union Carbide? Was it DuPont, Energizer batteries, Simonized wax, or Glad trash bags?
Let's do the trash bags. Seems like an oddball.
That is incorrect.
Ooh. Because if you would have asked me, I would have said Glad bags were a subsidiary of DuPont. So, Union Carbide, Simonizer wax.
That is incorrect.
Okay.
It is actually DuPont.
Okay.
Ah.
Yeah, they developed all 3 of those: Simonized, Energizer, and Glad.
Fair enough. Because I know DuPont was huge, so I just assumed everything else was underneath DuPont.
No, they are completely separate.
Fair enough.
I did not know that.
Yeah, no, I don't know. That's so old, you know. I
Right?
don't know. I guess none of us watch Foxcatcher close enough.
Now there's a reference. All right, Steve, are you ready for your question? All right. The Brothers Grimm, known for such tales as Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, and The Frog Prince, hail from what country?
It's either Germany or Australia, so give me the choices.
Your options are England, Austria, Germany, or Belgium.
Austria.
That is incorrect.
Oh, fucking goddamn.
Let's go Germany.
That is correct.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Germany, Oakland Athletics. Just give them all.
So that concludes round 1, where we are tied at 2 apiece. Now it is time to go to round 2, where everything is worth 2 points or nothing,
Gotcha.
where we get to swap seats. So what that means is, Steve, you now get to answer Union questions.
Sure.
And Zach, you get to answer Brothers questions.
Sure.
So, Steve, you get to go first this time around.
WGA.
So, in the first question, we talked about the Union Pacific being the second largest railroad in the United States.
Yeah.
What is the largest?
Amtrak.
That is incorrect.
Okay.
You know what? For 1 point on a steal, Zach, what is the largest railroad?
I don't know.
Transatlantic.
Yeah,
No.
that's-
Transamerica.
It is BNSF.
Who knows what the fuck that is? That's not even on the Monopoly board.
No, it is
yeah.
not.
What is that?
It's a short line. Everybody knows that. Are you ready for your
I'm
first
ready.
question of
Let's
round
do it.
2? All right. So we had previously talked about the Bash Brothers playing together on the Oakland Athletics. Together, they won one World Series. In what year did they win that World Series title?
Did we get multiple choice in this?
Nope.
Let's say 1997.
That is incorrect.
93?
That is also incorrect.
94.
No.
I don't know that.
In 1989.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, Mark McGuire was in the league a long time.
Yeah, it was.
I did not realize that.
Him and Mike Piazza were in the league forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is amazing because Mike Piazza was a catcher.
Right.
His knees have to be
Beat up.
confetti. We are back to Steve
Yep.
with the Union questions.
Yep.
So we had talked about the Civil War with the Union gaining 2 stars on their flags. As everybody knows, each star represents a new state in the Union.
You're not going to ask me what fucking states it
What 2 states were added during the Civil War?
Oh, my God. So West Virginia is probably one of them. And something that would have been split or something in the West. North and South Dakota are my answers because I think West Virginia isn't adding a star. It's just a star.
That is incorrect.
Okay.
Zach, would you like
Montana.
to steal?
I have no clue. Let's do West Virginia and Wyoming.
So you are half right.
West Virginia's
It
probably
was
right.
West Virginia. West Virginia was one, and the other one was Nevada.
Okay.
Oh man, I was
The sil-
close.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Silver State was
Yeah.
added.
Yeah, they ratified a lot of states in the West quickly.
Yes, they did.
To add power to those. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
See, learning.
My history is shitty at best.
that's okay. That's all right.
It's like,
Off scale low.
yeah. Well, it's like I knew West Virginia came off of Virginia because they
did.
disagreed.
Yes.
But I'm not confident enough to stick with it.
So, Zach, are you ready for your question?
I'm ready.
All right. We had talked about Big Brother and the Holding Company and their lead singer, Janis Joplin, who was known for her famous art car. What kind of car was that?
A Buick.
Incorrect.
VW Beetle?
No.
All right.
Although, asking some people, they would say that a little tongue-in-cheek and be correct. It was actually a Porsche.
Ah, okay.
Yes, it was a Porsche 356 Cabriolet. I wasn't going to let you get that deep into it.
Right.
If you knew 356 Cabriolet would
I
have
think
been
if you
done,
just knew a Porsche.
Porsche would have gotten you points.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you went 356 Cabriolet, and oh, by the way, she bought it used, and ba-ba-da-ba-da. Yeah.
Well, then how did you not know the previous question that she was
Right,
a Big Brother?
exactly. So no points. We are going into the last set of questions. Tied at 2 apiece.
Yes.
We had talked about Union Carbide previously, a petrochemical company. In 2018, it was announced that Union Carbide's Park Avenue office, that's New York City, would be demolished, making it the 3rd tallest building to be demolished.
Okay.
What was the tallest?
The tallest building to be demolished?
Yes, in the world.
Don't want to say.
And that is correct.
Don't want to say.
Like I said, this category got a little blue.
Yeah, I got dark. Don't want to say.
But that is correct.
You won't forget the answer to that one.
You will not. No. And it is the second. Yeah, we all
Yep.
know that one.
Yeah.
But it is the third, and it is the tallest building in the 21st century.
To be taken down. Yeah.
Yes. So there you go. Are we ready to move on?
Ready.
Please.
Yes.
All right. The Brothers Grimm. We had talked about them previously. The pride of Germany.
Shut up.
Not Austria.
Shut up.
What denomination of Deutschmark were the Brothers Grimm used on and featured starting in 1992?
I have no clue. Look, he's ready. He knows it.
5 or 10er. Just guess anything. Don't give him like a 50. That's too much.
Let's go 10.
That is incorrect.
Oh, man.
Steve?
I'd just say 5er then.
That is also incorrect.
Cool.
It was the 1,000 Deutschmark note.
Weird.
Yeah, it was the largest note to be utilized starting in 1992.
Weird
They sound like
inflation.
they were the best.
Yes.
Weird inflation.
Yeah.
We now have a score of 3-2.
Who got 3?
You did.
When?
You know when.
You said you want to go back there.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Suckered you in.
So that leaves us with nothing but our bonus question. Worth 2 points.
Uh-huh.
Union Brothers, they are expanding, and their new space is a former Tupperware store. In 2019, what was Tupperware's annual sales in dollars? This is where Price is Right rules are in effect. Both of you have an opportunity.
I'm glad you clarified dollars because I just would have been like, I don't know, 3 quarts in a bowl.
But in 2019, what was their annual sales? Either of you can go first. Does not matter to me.
I'll go first.
Okay.
Annual sales of Tupperware crested $750 million.
Okay. Zach?
I'm going to go 920 million.
And Zach is closer
Yeah.
with $1.19 billion worth of
Jeez,
Tupperware
dango.
being sold.
Dang.
So, considering that was a 2-point bonus question, that gives us a final score of Steve with 3, Zach with 4. You are the grand champion for
Pulled it
Union
out.
Brothers quiz.
Right, for the Union
Pulled it
Brothers
out,
win.
man.
Although I think the fix was in. He's already wearing the T-shirt.
Right. You'd
So,
think. You think.
You think?
Oh, well. I don't feel bad about losing essentially a home turf game,
exactly.
especially when I give out answers like an idiot.
Yeah, I think you gave me at least 2 or 3.
So we'll say it was a team win.
Yay.
Win. Group
Awesome.
effort, right?
It was.
Awesome. This Rocky Road Stout is also a team win because, boy, oh boy, that's a great drinking beer.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. And what's even more impressive about it is a great drinking 10% beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's smooth for 10, man. It's dangerous. That's what I like to tell people.
Yeah. Danger.
Yeah.
Dangerous.
Yeah, this is one where you need to pull one out of the fridge, put all the other ones back in the back so you don't get tempted to get into 3 or 4 of them in a night.
Yeah, pretty much. You're going to find yourself swimming in deep, dark water. But, yeah. With that, though, I think it's time we go to the podium. And this is where we rank all the beers that we had tonight, bronze, silver, and gold. And, Zach, you'll go last because we like to make the brewers rank their babies last.
Yes. Alrighty.
But,
Sounds
Adam,
good.
if you want to go first, you can.
I don't want to, but I will.
Okay.
Because I'm still not entirely sure, but I think I have a good idea now.
Okay.
First and foremost, there are no losers in this one. All 3 of these are well-crafted beers. I would be more than willing to grab another one, without a doubt. But one has to go in 3rd place. And I think I'm going to have to put the Marzen in the bronze medal position. It is a good beer. It's a well-crafted beer. But the only thing that kind of holds it back is it's a known style. Everybody knows a Marzen. Everybody enjoys a Marzen. So there's really no surprises there. So and I think that kind of puts it in the bronze medal position. In the silver medal position, I got to go with the pumpkin pie as well, with the short stack. That one was also a well-crafted beer, but it was a little bit surprising because you didn't expect that pumpkin pie flavor and the nose and everything else to go with the tartness of it. So it was it was good to see that combination because it's something a little bit different when everybody's doing a pumpkin beer and they all kind of taste the same. It's nice to have that little bit of a switch up to it. However, it's stout season. And this bad boy, oh yeah. I don't care how many interns you had to go through that they had to zest all the marshmallows. Yeah, it was worth it. This is far and away the gold medal winner on this episode. I'm probably going to grab a 4-pack before I leave.
Yeah.
A little bit for me.
Yeah.
Because everybody needs weekend treats.
That's right.
So, yeah, that's where I'm ranking my beers.
Cool. I'm differing just slightly from you.
Okay.
In that I'm going to put pumpkin pie in the bronze.
Okay.
I like it a lot. It's a really good dessert beer, but I feel like I can't drink a lot of them. Mm-hmm. I could drink one with like a scoop of vanilla ice cream and then be really happy with that. But I think the tartness is going to get a little too much for me. Mm-hmm. Just if I tried to drink multiples, but otherwise, it's super great beer, and it's completely unique, as I already said, from every other pumpkin beer you will find on the market. So, yeah, check this one out while you can. But yeah, bronze, silver. I'm going to go to the Marzen because it is, just a super easy drinking, repeatable style. You can have a bunch of those with dinner over and over. You can have some after dinner. It's going to be fine. You're going to have a day. But yeah, really good, well-crafted beer. Nice, round, hearty drinking fall beer. But yeah, gold goes to stouts because you're listening to this show. Where you been?
Yeah.
It's episode 223. You don't know stouts win? Stouts win.
Stouts win. T-shirt idea.
Yes.
Stouts win. Stouts always win.
Always win.
Zach, your ranks.
So mine is going to be the bronze will go to the pumpkin pie. Just because it's I think, like I said, I hate to admit that it's good. But, it's just not what I'm drinking. I think the silver is going to go to the stout for me.
Okay.
I like it 10%. I think it's very tasty, but again, I'm going to lean towards the lager for the gold and the Marzen. I think that's a crusher for me. I'm having more than one. So I think with the other two, the stout, I can only have one because of 10%.
Yeah,
and
okay.
That's a very good point. Yeah.
The tartness on the pumpkin, I can only have probably one as well. So
Fair enough.
I'm going to go Marzen, the winner.
Right on.
Nice. See, I'm bigger than Zach, so I can have two.
And you're not driving.
That's right.
I might be laying on the floor.
With that, though, Zach, why don't you just continue on? Tell everybody where they can find Union Brothers, if you want to give out social media, if you want to give out events that you're going to be at coming up, anything you want to talk about, like, now's your time.
Yeah, so you can find us on Facebook, Union Brothers Brewing, Instagram, Union Brothers Brewing, and then we have Twitter, which is Brewing Union on Twitter. So we have, I guess there's Fueled by Hops Beer Fest coming up, the drink from the cookie table. So we'll have a couple dessert beers out there. I think that's November 6th. There's 2 sessions. And then November 17th, we'll be at the Bloom Cafe in Mars, Pennsylvania. They do trivia night that we'll be out there pouring beer for. But other than that, we're going to be busy working on this expansion and getting that ready and look forward to 2022.
Right on.
Yeah, you'll have to let us know when the expansion is official.
I'm sure we'll find out when Creekside starts getting can after can after can.
Yeah, so
Just starts having the Union Brothers shelf.
Right.
yeah, shout out Creekside. So Creekside right now is our only distribution outpost we have. So they get beer off us every week, and we look to change that with this expansion. Let's get some more places around the area as well.
So
Right on.
I will say that, yeah, I've gotten Union Brothers from there more than once.
Yeah, and they're very good. They're knowledgeable people. So
yeah.
it's
Shout out to Tyler.
Yeah, Tyler.
Indeed.
Tyler knows his stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So
Well, maybe that's a 2022 goal. Tyler can guest bartend.
yeah, so they asked us to do that. So yeah, I would expect to see Tyler in 2022
Yeah.
up here. Of course.
Awesome. Well, if you want to find us, all you have to do is search Hop Nation USA. They'll get you Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And if you want to listen to brand new episodes of the Hop Nation USA podcast every Friday, as you should, then search Hop Nation USA in your favorite podcatcher like Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, anything that starts with pod, ends in cast. We're on all those platforms. But if you're on any of them, leave us a 5-star review because...
We are a 6-song Spotify list, but they only let us use 5.
And that's a bigger crime than me talking that much about Mark McGuire and giving up all my baseball knowledge. I now have no more baseball knowledge for the rest of the show. In perpetuity. Episode 400, I still don't know more baseball knowledge.
So we just have to keep going back to that well.
That's right. But yeah, thanks again for Zach for having us out here and Union Brothers Brewing in general. Just providing the space and talking about the beer. It's a good time. But
Come out here.
yeah, check it out.
Drink their beer.
It's worth the drive. And there's 2 other breweries. Stone's Throw.
Right.
They're all good. Check everybody out in the Zelianople way.
Harmony.
Harmony.
I ain't doing it.
Harmony.
I ain't doing it.
I ain't doing it.
But,
Well,
yeah.
and if you're done there, perhaps we should go a little east after that.
Maybe you'll end up there.
Maybe. Maybe. Find out next week if we do.
Oh.
Or you do.
Or you do.
That voodoo that you do.
No, not voodoo.
No.
No, not voodoo. East End.
We'll be back next week with something new.
Okay, bye.